how gender-based violence and the economy can benefit if we make sure that people that are in our economic capital, or rather our labor force, have a positive balance mentally. So quickly, I'm going to introduce the panelists. And first and foremost, we're going to have Jeffrey Silvester, who is the country representative for Zimbabwe Women, UN Women, and has been since 2005. We also have Bokulam Kopolo, who is the country director for the International Labour Organization, resident here in Zimbabwe. We have Eunice Giovanni, who is the chairperson for anti-domestic violence here in Zimbabwe. And then we have Mama Sarah, who runs the Dusty Road restaurant. It's a local restaurant here in Victoria Falls, where she incorporates women of various groups and brings together discussion on mental health as well as gender-based violence, showing positive signs of economic improvement when the local people are incorporated into the development discussion. We also have Mr. Munala Dumajoli, who is the CEO for Consolidated Africa Services in Zimbabwe. Without further ado, we're going to be talking about mental health and its impact. And just quickly, do you know that 1 in every 4 suffers a mental health-related illness over the course of their lives? This alone makes it very important for us to take mental health and make it a very serious issue, because without addressing mental health, it will impact on productivity and the general running and efficiency of any business in any fraternity. A mentally unstable human has a huge negative externality on socio-economic process and the value creation. Decisions taken by mentally ill or compromised people have negative effects on the business process and the age of entrepreneurship. However, we must very quickly make note that there is a peak in the compromise of our mental health, especially in young adults, and yet these are economically productive age groups. So therefore, what are we doing as society? How are we intervening? And the intervention should be very quick and very precise so as to combat the negative effects. Just imagine, 1 trillion is lost due to mental health imbalances. How much are we losing as society by neglecting the impact? And when are we going to invest in mental health? Because if we address mental health related issues, our productivity and our output are multiplied by at least 4%. However, I will quickly ask Stephanie to maybe give her contribution and delve into what the UN is doing and how we can pair gender-based violence, mental health, and contribute positively to economic benefits.
Good morning, everybody. Pleased to see people here, even in this rain, we feel blessed about anyway. But just my contribution is really going to talk about what potentials are using by having GBVs in our community, and specifically around women and understanding the role that women play in communities, but also in the household, people need to know on national level. But the rate of GDP that we have, what are the losses we're talking about? First, to say that there's no recent study that we can say in Zimbabwe this is a concrete answer to it. But I can give you some statistics from other countries that will give you an idea, and then talk about a 2009 study that was done by CEDA for Zimbabwe. So in Australia, there's an estimated $22 billion. And that was estimated in 2015 to 2016 in terms of loss due to the cost of violence of women and children. And then Vietnam, an overall productive loss amount is around 1.78% of the GDP. That was a 2012 study. And for Zimbabwe, the 2009 study indicated that there is a loss, and this is 2009, $2 billion US. Now, that is 2009, and let's remember that 2008 was a difficult economic period in Zimbabwe, so violence was gone up at that time. But we're experiencing a similar economic situation at the moment, and we can assume that the issues of domestic violence specifically, or just the stress, economic stress that causes people to be more violent with each other, and which includes gender-based violence. So we can then extrapolate from that maybe 2 billion is a small number. So with the environment that we're dealing with, we have to understand that the losses are great. It might sound callous to talk about financial losses, but if we don't talk about financial losses, or if we don't talk about the potential for financial gain of a nation, then it means that we're not talking about also the protective measures that can be put in place if the investments are done well by the state. So what we would like to see is that the state's the state's value or the state's GDP is improved, increased. Women are part of that productivity, and we're not just always saving victims. I always like to say it's not about saving victims. Women need to be part of a society as equal citizens who are contributing equally to the development of a nation. But if we're spending a lot of money or losing a lot of money through poor productivity, we're always going to remain in a cycle. What does this mean? It means that the government then has to try and invest in saving victims. And that investment of saving victims is a very high one considering what we're dealing with. So what does it mean for the sector that addresses GDP? A lot of the burden sits with communities and also, for example, your restaurant and your initiative. So we're leaving the state is leaving the responsibility to individuals and communities to try and resolve a problem that should be accounted by the state to begin with. If women were productive and if women had met their full potential, the government would be able to put in infrastructure that meets those needs. And if you could meet those needs, it means that one, we're ensuring that the mental health is being taken care of, the physical health is being taken care of, and people are therefore more productive. So you're in a different type of cycle, rather than in the downward spiral that we're finding ourselves in because there's a lot of GDP in our communities. So as I said, the investment becomes that of the individual, it becomes that of the community, and it leaves the state not necessarily addressing the full potential of it. What does the state need to do? It has to ensure that you do have, one, the private sector engaged in it, but more importantly, the government has to have a comprehensive, gender-responsive budget. So as they're making plans to say that, okay, we're building a hospital over there, it has to ensure that that hospital can meet the needs of people who are dealing with both mental health and physical health issues, and not just providing a space where the police, you go report to the police and nothing goes beyond from that. How do you connect all these infrastructures that protect? And what cost is it to do that? The government has to know that cost. The government has to understand that cost and has to invest upfront. We're in a country that is making priority decisions around its economy. The question is, can it make GDP a priority issue as well? And this is where we come in. This is where the UN comes in. This is where civil society comes in to say that you can't afford not to. Because if you don't invest in ensuring that people are protected and people are looked after when they need that assistance, you're going to continuously have a downward spiral. How do you make the spiral turn around and go back up? You actually have to ensure and understand that the cost of violence is a very high cost, not just to the individual, but to the state. And this is when it forces us to start having a conversation to talk about money in relation to GDP, rather than rather than talking about it more from, my human rights, my personal rights. And that is the hard choice we sometimes have to make. We have to speak the language of economics in order to make sense for the matter to be taken care of. Because a lot of the time, when we're talking about a financial crisis, we talk about it from a macroeconomic level, rather from the microeconomic level, which is where women find themselves in relation to the economy is not that great, gender-based violence or any form of gender-based violence, or any form of violence starts taking place when there's an economic downturn, and that's when we find ourselves saying, no, We have to have a different type of conversation, and it's not just about feeling for someone. It's actually trying to get very practical, very economic about the situation, and counting the numbers. If you don't count the numbers, then you won't get the results you're looking for. As a colleague of mine says, if it isn't counted, it doesn't exist. And that means you can't rely on studies from 2009. So we have to start doing investments in also the research, so we know what we're talking about. So we have a research issue. We have to turn around the downward spiral. We have to understand that we can't keep on talking about it in the soft measures that people tend to call, which is, I need to cancel someone, so I need to settle canceling them. You have to talk about it from an economic point of view and embed the discussion in the macroeconomic conversations that are being had around creating priorities for a nation. If we don't do that, we're not speaking the same language, or we're not speaking a language that people will understand for that investment. When it comes to the private sector, it's also about leveraging the private sector. Yes, a lot of the time we're buying during 16 days of activism, for example, where they'll have events where people will talk about it in their environments. But a lot of it I'm also going to leave it to my colleague from ILO, because she will talk more about what needs to happen in the workplace environment. Because productivity is also counted from the workplace environment. But we also need to counter it in the informal workplace environment. That's an area we tend to leave out. But one thing we do know about the Zimbabwean economy is that the majority of the economy lives in the informal environment. So how are we counting that? And what is it of it how we count it? And what are we asking the states to take into consideration? Because if you look at it again, the majority of the informal environment is women. And the majority of people experiencing the violence is women. And the majority of women in the majority of people in rural areas are women. So are they accessing what is also being set up by the state? Is the state extending itself far enough into the rural areas in order to capture those people who are mostly affected? So you can see, I'm just setting up a picture to say that we're missing the mark somehow. We're not counting, we're not extending or accessing, making people access from a certain point of view, and we're not speaking necessarily the same language. There's a language issue in GDP that does have to get harder, unfortunately. While we have a heart for the work that we do and we remain passionate, we also have to become very practical about what we're saying and what we're doing. So without, taking over the whole conversation, I think this is the best that I can put on the table so that we can have a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the insight. We are now going to pass on to Okulon. She's going to give us an indication of what it means when we're looking at labor. She represents the International Labor Organization, and she's going to pair mental health, its economic costs, as well as gender-based violence and how it impacts socio-economic productivity and the cost of labor.
Thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. Good morning to all of you. Okay, that's better. Okay, so thank you very much for letting me be part of this platform, and I think where I will be talking will be just to really take over from what Delphine has been saying. Some of the issues I'll say she's already said them, but I'll just reiterate. But where I want to start is when you look at issues around mental health, you look at issues around violence and harassment in the workplace. These are issues that we don't talk much about. Yeah, there's a certain element of stigma, and people just are not comfortable talking about the experiences of whether it's depression or whether it's issues of someone is harassing me or someone is saying something which is inappropriate. And so these are issues, though, as Delphine has mentioned, of course, result in the individual then being affected in one way or another in terms of stress, and then that could result in absenteeism. The words go right now, I know what I'm saying. And also then it's going to affect productivity. So there is a reaction which is going to ultimately affect the productivity of the companies. And each one of us seated over here at one point, or even as we talk right now, is either an employer or employee. So these are issues that I believe talk to our very core, or talk to the core of each one of us, but it's not probably many times when we hear about these issues spoken about in our workplaces. Is that correct? Okay, good. So I think I get a few nods that yes, it happens like that. So what it is then is that because ILO, we are dealing with workers, we are dealing with employers, what we do obviously then is look at the issues around or affecting the workplace. And what happened a couple of years back is that there was some discussion at the international level on coming up with an international standard which would look at violence and harassment in the workplace. And so what then we did in Zimbabwe, because we didn't have much information on understanding, as the opinion said, that if there's no data, it's very difficult to know the piece that we are dealing with. So we did a very small study just to have a look and see which sectors were being affected by sexual harassment in the workplace. So we found that it was actually happening in many of the sectors, and people were actually being affected by it. It would have a gender issue where you find that it's a lot of young girls, for example, young women being affected, the power issues, the power struggle. So that was where it was really manifested. But that's not to say that harassment is not also happening to guys. It's happening whether guys, women, it's happening all around. But of course, many times it's in a situation where there's power relations. The informal economy, which he has also spoken about, there's also issues of harassment, issues of also sexual violence in those spaces. But the question then, which we all then ask ourselves, is what actually is harassment? Because if we don't have a common definition of what it is, it can be anything, right? So the convention now, which the ILO eventually adopted last year at its International Labour Conference, sets out now to define what harassment is. And I'm just going to quickly just mention it because I think it's important that we understand what it is. And violence and harassment is, in the world of work, refers to a range of unacceptable behaviors and practices or threats thereof, whether a single occurrence or repeated, that aim at or result in or are likely to result in physical, psychological, sexual, or economic harm, and includes gender-based violence and harassment. So what happened though is that even with this definition, there was a lot of going back and forth, in the sense that the employers asked and said, but is that a case of harassment when someone comes to you, for example, and says that someone said a comment about, oh, your dress is nice, is that harassment? So there was a lot of going back and forth to say what does it actually entail. But the point is that I think that it has to be then brought down to contextual. I mean, for the context in which that comment is being made to a person. There was one employer who I spoke to, and he said, in a workplace, if a man, for example, is going out with a woman, and then suddenly that woman has a baby, and then during the same workplace, he has an affair with another woman and has another baby, is that harassment? I don't think it's harassment at all. That's what he says. But I said no. The point is the power relations. If it's the boss, he's paying the salary, what does he go and say to this young lady in order for him to get the baby or whatever it is? So this is why I say it's the context, it's subtle, but it's there. And this is what then we have to all understand what it is. Then, of course, the other definition too is gender-based violence and harassment. It's also defined as violence and harassment directed at persons because of their sex or gender, or affecting persons of a particular sex or gender disproportionately, and includes sexual harassment. So, again, I think it's clearly just trying to understand what it is and that we all have a common understanding of what it is. And definitely we know that, as I said, that was where I started off, is that there is that stigma, there is that taboo about harassment in the workplace. So when you find that not many people will talk about it. So one of the things that we then need to do is to create that environment which allows people to talk it out, to speak it. And if you are going to speak it, then the protection must be there, that you are not going to be legal, that you are not going to be penalized, or you are not going to then be dismissed because of that. So that's one of the first things we need to do, is we need to promote an environment which will allow people to be able to talk about it. And also, one of the things that is definitely important is then to understand the extent of sexual harassment in the workplace. We need to do a bit of studies. We need to have some, at least some research to understand who is affected, how it's affecting people, etc. That's something that we need to work out as well. We also need to have training programs, and the training programs need to take place at different levels. They can't just be targeted to those who are in a specific workplace, but I mean, if there's a government institution which is able then to monitor, which is able then to look at that in terms of labor inspectors, we need to also make sure that they also undertake the necessary training in order then to be able to assist people to be then to allow them to go to places where they can be able to take those complaints. So dispute resolution mechanisms, we need those as well in order for people to be able to have their issues which are listened to as well. And also too, what we need to also have is we also need to have in the workplaces, we need to be thinking of a workplace policy. And workplace policies, we know that we can have many workplace policies, but if they don't work, it is good as not having anything. So we need then that commitment at the management level, as well as just going down throughout the organization, that if we're going to have a workplace policy, it needs then to be able to be enforced and needs to be able then to be able to protect those who are being victimized. So basically then just to quickly say to you is that, as I mentioned, the convention was adopted last year, and when the ILO has conventions and they're adopted, what happens is that countries then are supposed to ratify those conventions. So at least 2 countries need to register ratification, and once they've done that, then 2 years after, this convention will go into force. So we have the convention, we also have a recommendation. The convention, once it is ratified, once it's now going to be enforced, it means that the countries are bound to follow that, but it aligns then with their constitution, whereas the recommendation is more like a guideline, which tells you that this is what the country needs to do. So at the International Labour Conference, the countries or member states approve both the recommendation and the convention. So these are early days in terms of where we are going now in terms of how to address the issue, but at least I think the good thing is that there is an international standard which is in place to be able to make sure that we are able actually to address the issue. And in addressing the issue, I'm not going to belabor the point, but if someone is being sexually harassed, facing violence in the workplace, it's still going to cause that stress, it's still going to cause the absenteeism, it's going to cause the psychological effects, so we still link it then still with the mental health issues that we are talking about. So I'll leave it at this for now, and we can then continue to take it on in discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're now going to transcend and move into a domestic violence discussion. And maybe basically bring it home to understanding the role the woman plays in society and the effect of battering, harming her psychologically, physically on the economy. Understanding that the woman is at the heart of human life, human livelihood, and the catapult into every other facet of economy development, even our socialization. So we have Minister Johan who's going to just deliberate on that.
Thank you, Madam Facilitator. I was reflecting a lot around the theme for this forum, which says 2020 to 2030, a decade to deliver a transformed and prosperous Africa through the 2030 and 2063 agendas. And in our view, as the Anti-Domestic Violence Council, violence against women and GBV broadly hinders economic and social development. That no matter how hard we try as nations on the African continent and beyond, we will not go beyond the extent to which we are willing to actively, in a robust way, in a dynamic way, deal with gender-based violence. I was going to start where Delphine started around the cost of GBV. But I think suffice it to underscore the points already made that without dealing with GBV, you cannot improve opportunities for the highest educational attainment for women. You cannot have optimal productivity in the workplace. And I'm going to talk a bit about the workplace because I think part of the challenge of advancing efforts to end GBV is around definition and where we are looking. That the workplace has shifted from what it was in Zimbabwe, for instance, 20 years ago. That when you look at the Zim stats that we are getting, the majority of women are in the informalized sector. And not just informalized sector broadly. They are doing cross-border, they are doing Mabero, they are doing my hair salon. So in defining the workspace and even the policies attendant to that, it's important, I think, to work with the reality and the context. And for us, that's very important. And it goes without saying and underscoring the importance of mental health challenges. And that if I'm not myself, half the time I'm concerned that when I leave this space, wherever it is, at my Mabero, at my hair salon, what will I find at home? I cannot be productive. And it's very important. And I think the issue of GBV has to be understood that it's actually cross-cutting and a determinant, a key determinant on the extent to which we are going to achieve the goals of that we set for ourselves in Agenda 2030. But when we then go on to ask then what does an effective GBV response look like? Because we are speaking at state level, and we are saying that no GBV ending limited development is happening. What we have learned as the Anti-Domestic Violence Council is that at a national level, there is need for committed and strong leadership to end effort, to end GBV. And I think we can draw a leaf from efforts that were made in this country that led to the enactment of the Domestic Violence Act. It was out of the leadership and the activism from the highest level to the community level that we had too much of domestic violence. There has to be a policy instrument that helps us deal with that. And I think I can also quote from South Africa, those that have been following South Africa's efforts to end GBV. There was the summit that focused on GBV and the color and its complexion in South Africa. And I think in all of our countries, we need to do that. And we need appropriate policy frameworks. In Zimbabwe, for instance, we have the national program for GBV prevention and response, Zero Tolerance for GBV 365. It's a policy framework that ran from 2016 and ends this year in 20. And it has a costed implementation plan. Like my sister said that if it's not costed, it has no statistics, no figures to it, then it does not exist. But I think Zimbabwe has set a very good example around how to deal with GBV. And we believe as the Anti-Domestic Council that the efforts must be well coordinated. And I think one of the challenges that have been that we are beginning to deal with is the involvement, particularly of the private sector. And again, just to offer the model that Zimbabwe has provided around HIV and AIDS prevention, in the private sector, there's a council for dealing with HIV and AIDS, properly costed, properly constituted with a vibrant secretariat. And that has been very important in ensuring that HIV and AIDS issues are dealt with adequately in the private sector. I believe that part of our efforts, both in Zimbabwe and elsewhere, has to look very closely at the private sector. It's important also to acknowledge that there are some partners that are working in that sector, some of our partners in SOSA Project and others that have taken a leap forward to engage the private sector so that GBV ending efforts are everyone's business. It can be, like Delphine was saying, that it can be a community initiative only. That's necessary, but it's not sufficient. But we need to look at a multi-sectoral, all sectors' involvement in efforts to end GBV. And that calls for coordination. And I know that within the National Machinery for Women's Advancement in Zimbabwe, a coordination network has been put in place. But all of us need to make it work by contributing to that. And not just coordinating government efforts, but across the country. And I think the other issue that we need to deal with, where everyone needs to participate, around all of the goals of the SDGs, is prevention. And it has to be evidence-based prevention. Prevention that says, in this context, what are the drivers of GBV? How do we then approach them from the roots? Because I think a lot of the challenges have been adaptation of strategies that are not necessarily relevant and very helpful in the context. And for us, as the Anti-Domestic Violence Council, we have learned. And one of the things that we started to do that we intend to complete is just to look at one key sector in the response, the GBV response, which is the police sector, to say what cases are being responded to by the police. And if those are the cases, what are they telling us about our approaches and the strategies that we are adopting in ending gender-based violence? And I think it's also important to target institutions of not just decision-making, but where human beings and citizens are made, and in schools, the curricula, so that prevention starts from there. Just having a non-transformation approach to education that says a woman and a man have equal value, and girls at that level begin to value themselves. Just to give an example, I was talking to one of the major sectors where there's a lot of child marriages and children being pledged in marriage at an early age. And so I talked to one young man who had just lost a daughter who was 17 and had a 3-year-old child. And he said to me, much as we might want to blame the church, we have so socialized our children that they need to marry the girl child. So by the time she is informed too, she knows exactly which old man she is targeting. So it's no longer the old man saying, give me your daughter. The girls are also proactively going to the old man. So it's important, therefore, in our prevention strategies to understand all these issues and all these perspectives that are arising, because we can be chasing a totally wrong horse when in fact things have changed. So at the center of changing within our preventive strategies, we really have to look at norms, transformation, and what are the trends, what is going on, what is it that we need to change so that we influence and get the greatest step forward around ending gender-based violence. And the other response is the response for those that have then gone through violence, the GBV. What kind of sheltering services are we providing? What kind of both crisis and long-term counseling are we providing? What kind of economic empowerment is being made available? Because we also know that economic disempowerment is a key driver for women remaining in abusive relationships. But because we are not current in terms of our evidence-based responses, you find a lot of the times that the counselor, the one who is the matron of a shelter, is the one who trains economically. It may not work as well as it should. So I think the issue of networking, working, taking a multi-sectoral approach so that you give the experts the work to do. When you have the women in the shelter and they need economic empowerment, and they most often do, who do you bring in to train those women so that they live as transformed women? And the other thing is, even entry back into community, there's a lot of stigma sometimes that is attached to women that go into shelters. What kind of preparation, what kind of programs do we need to have so that when they enter into the community, yes, it can't be as if nothing happened, but we can minimize the trauma and the level of acceptance of these women and their children when they got back. And another piece also is support to perpetrators. They're actually victims in their own right. I know that there's been a trend towards male involvement, including men, but I think we need to take a more feminist approach, you know, and I know that can be a controversial term, but by feminist I simply mean an acknowledgement that the world is not equal for women and men, and somebody wants to do about it. So taking that empowering role and not putting men into space for them to take over from women, that is not what we want. So, I mean, in a nutshell, this is some of the considerations if we are going to end GBV. And doing it in such a manner that anyone sitting anywhere knows that there can be economic, social, and even political advancement if GBV does not end. Because we also know that politically motivated gender-based violence affects women and makes it impossible for them sometimes to go into positions of power and decision-making. And so they need to trade, sometimes they trade their power for the sake of being accepted and continuing. There's one last thing that links to the contributions of my earlier sisters, and I've already talked about it, that the world of work has changed. It has changed completely, and I think we need, if we're going to end GBV, we need to understand that vending is our form. Cross-border trade is our form. So how safe are those spaces for women? I was talking to, there was a bus that was raided from South Africa this Saturday. One of my young sisters happened to be in that bus, and she told me horror stories of how men, the robbers, were sticking their fingers into their private parts to look for money. Only somebody who has no respect for a woman does things like that. So we need to look at those things, and many of those women were cross-border traders that is going to buy a few things, including families that were coming to mourn their dead and had money taken from them. And even the issue of children that are heading households because of cross-border trade for women. So I think we really need a holistic approach, but undergetting all of that is to say no end to GBV, no sustainable development. And I'll just rest my case there, and I'm happy for us to discuss. Perhaps one last thing, associations and affiliations. The women's movement has been at the center in one of the women's movements. But when you look at the studies that have been done by Zimbabwean and other researchers, they are telling you that in the order of priority, the family, religious groupings, neighborhood associations, burial societies, Masako, you know, these small corporations that women come around and contribute money, have become the new centers of power. That's where the discourse is happening. So even as we look at how do we end GBV, we need to look at all of these new associations, new configurations that are coming in. Because like I said, we might be flogging a dead horse, where we will not find the centers of decision makers and the gatekeepers in our efforts to end gender-based violence. Facilitate our end. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was great. And taking from the words of Lily Foster, she says we judge an economy or civilization by how it treats women. And up until we can have the respect from the woman, from the young girl child, the lady, the mother, the grandmother, I think we are going in reverse. And up until we make it a huge priority and start echoing the impact and the influence that they have in every other sphere of influence, you know, it is the cradle of our socialization. They are the life givers. They impact on us each and every day, which conveniently brings us to our next discussion. When we invite Lily, Sarah Milford, who's operating here in the Victoria Coast, and represents a group of normal women, real women, everyday women, the women that come out and work and serve us in restaurants, working every day, and how we can hear that and understand what life looks like, how gender-based violence impacts it, and what difference we can make. Sarah.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Sarah Wilford. I'm the founder of a small but busy restaurant in Chimitimba. Chimitimba is the oldest and largest township in Victoria Falls, full of a wonderful, hard-working community. All these people who live there are waiters, tour operators, taxi drivers, cleaners, bar people, all sorts of people in the tourist industry who serve you staying in these wonderful hotels and luxurious establishments in Vic Falls. And I have the honor to work with them in the township, and it's a great township and very vibrant. I employ 13 women at my restaurant, and we are showing the foreign visitors what it's like to live in the township. I've renovated a small 1930s house in a very funky, fun Zimbabwean way, and we serve Zimbabwean food. We use a lot of the wild edibles and a lot of all our local ingredients sourced from the area, and we also have foragers going out finding ingredients for the restaurant. The group of ladies I employ, some have never worked before, and I'm loving the challenge of teaching them new skills. All my ladies have a variety of jobs to do. I don't just have cooks, cleaners, accountants. Everyone needs to learn all the different skills involved in the restaurant. And through giving them these jobs, they've gained incredible experience and incredible confidence. And I love watching that confidence with our foreign guests and just seeing them develop as people. And I believe as the mama, I'm called Mama Sarah in the township, and I believe as women we've got such a huge responsibility in the home. And I'm creating this little home in the township where people feel safe, secure, are learning things, are being able to deal with these issues we're talking about today, and also providing that bright beacon where they can come to me and we can always get help from other people who are more experienced in it. But it's basically a great little restaurant that is slowly going to grow, and I can see we can help more and more people in the township through this. So all the women live quite close by. Most of them walk to work. That's also great because they've all got their families around and about. We do have a small support group here in Victoria Falls who can help these women with domestic violence. I guess I just provide that platform for them to be able to work and become independent and sorry, I'm not good at public speaking. I'm a cook. I'm the mum of the house, not a public speaker. But I think there's so much help that can happen here in Victoria Falls just through having these ladies work for me and being part of a very big community. We get ladies who come in and teach basket making to our foreign visitors. We've got your own recycling projects, and it all creates just a very comfortable environment to be able to talk, share stories. I have have a wonderful lady called Okamusu from the market, and she'll tell our foreign visitors what all our ingredients are and all their health benefits. And she's also the other mother in the house, and I feel people can also confide in her and share any stories and any news with the tone they're having with her. It's like a little safe house in many ways.
Thank you very much, Mama Sarah, and you are a brilliant public speaker. Because some of the best stories are told from the heart, and some of the very best stories are told from experience. So we can only lay down our lives and teach by what we know. Thank you very much. So we would now like to pair the business ends, tie the ends, and establish. We've heard from the United Nations Women, we've heard from ILO, we've heard from anti-domestic violence. Now, how do we pair the business community? Consolidated African Services serves as an interface between investors and the private sector. And many a times we look up to the government and expect them to have these initiatives, that they should drive the domestic violence agenda, that they should drive the mental health agenda. Where is the private sector in all this? The Consolidated African Services has designed a programming that ensures that it's necessary to plug in this facility so that we can relate to someone who's actually working corporately and see the influence and the need for us to prioritize mental health, to prioritize the SDGs, and they have a PBO arm which Mr. Munya represents, and he's going to be talking about what they're doing and their work and how they bring it all together.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Sitting here and listening to a broad range of spectrum, it is no feat what needs to be done in the space of mental health and in the space of ending the gender-based violence. Business exists in a community and therefore by design is driven by the vision of the entrepreneur. Currently we speak about the age of the entrepreneur. And as such, their mental health, well-being and their agents of a human resource fundamental in business needs to be equally sound. So, as we are talking about the human resource factor, it's a manpower factor that, as a whole country, how we bring up our manpower to be productive is one of the essential elements of why mental health, maintenance and building requires that all facets of business respond to it to ensure greater creativity and ensure greater productivity. As we look for engines of growth that give economic emancipation, mental stability has to be the cornerstone on which all human development must now be premised in the organizations actually lead or want to foster. So why do we actually talk about investing in mental health? Because as you sit as an entrepreneur, your first impact, whether you're leading a business, is when you bring in someone into your workplace. That someone comes from a home. It might be a broken home. They might have had a violent father. They might have had a very difficult social upbringing. So the issue we have is that human resource that you are facing mentally fit when they walk into your gate, into your corporation, into your company from day dot, because they come from a different background or different upbringing. So in those facets of what they've already experienced, there is an impact to that human resource. How is it actually being catered for? When you are hearing Eunice go to depth about what it is that is causing lack of respect in the human element, we are looking at issues and facets of human behavior that has been impacted by different things. They say an abusing father is likely to raise an abusing child, and that child becomes a human resource fundamental at some particular point. So, the impact of background and upbringing is important. The impact of the socio-economic environment is important. The impact of substance abuses and how they are actually being used in society is important. The impact of health issues is important. We lived in the age of HIV and AIDS. How did that affect the family unit? We are now living in the age of cancer in a big way, and it is actually becoming prominent. How is that affecting the family unit? And all these things have a psychological impact on how we actually begin to address our workforce. We live in the impact of a legalistic environment, the freedoms that we actually currently enjoy or not enjoy. The perception of that particular environment has an impact on mental health. So when we go to work-related issues, we talk about inadequate health and safety policies, poor communication and management practices, limited participation in decision-making, that people have lower control over their job areas and hence they feel inadequate, lower levels of support, inflexible working hours, and unclear tasks and objectives. All these things impact business. And when they impact business, they do so either from a micro level, which is the domestic and internal home, or from a macro level, which you've heard labeled from a situation where we are saying the global cost, when accounted for, is $1 trillion. When people talk about $1 trillion, how many $1 trillion economies do you know? The whole economy of Italy is 1.6 trillion. So if you're saying the global cost is $1 trillion, it means you are literally wiping the GDP of the whole Italian economy in terms of impact. That's a huge impact. What does business and everybody need to do to actually start off that $1 trillion impact? It means for every dollar we invest in healthcare or mental health and preventing issues of domestic violence, for every dollar we invest, we get a 400% output. So just to start off that $1 trillion impact, we need to only invest $250 billion globally in this particular sector or area. So does it only become the responsibility of government and or policy initiatives? Or is it an all-inclusive process of how we actually start as our coach here, where you actually say it must be transformative and translational in the way we do things from an educational perspective, so that the cost of doing business actually begins to decline. So as CAS, we've looked at all these things and said, if we are going to build businesses that have an enduring value, we need to be part of the community and participate in how we actually can transform issues of gender-based violence and mental health in the workplace. Our interventions have been simple. Our interventions have looked at raising awareness in terms of our area. We've actually created the wellness festivals, which basically are to look at mental health in a forward-thinking way, to actually be the first line of responders in actually impacting how the community views issues of mental health. So bringing awareness to the community, and we thought of doing that through wellness festivals that are a whole day event structured around physical exercise, yoga, spiritual exercises, and then ending it with fun and dance so that we actually put the message out there. We've also created a trilogy of events that are designed to show that people and the human spirit can enjoy. And that is the Walk for Life, which is a 2,200-kilometer walk around LA, speaking to issues of mental health. We're just simply putting a man to walk around a dam Lake Kariba, which has never been done, to actually just bring awareness to that issue. Then we've got the Waves for Life, which is also an enduring feat of a man sailing a dhow from Oman to the Saleh River, looking at trade routes. Then we've got the Wind for Life, which is putting a man in a balloon to go across Africa from Mozambique to the Namib Desert. The reason is, over the next 6 years, we want to bring awareness to the issues of mental health, so that in our small way we can begin to contribute to how people can actually begin to view those issues around mental health and productivity. So in a small collaborative way as CAS, this is why we have actually tried to actually have a side event to actually prepare everybody else around these particular issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mona. So now we're going to talk about, we're going to open up the panel and maybe establish why I should invest in mental health. What is the benefit? Is there a benefit at all? What does it take? What will it take for us to ask each other if we are coping? Mental health, depression, and anxiety are the leading causes of death, suicide, burnout in the workplace, low productivity, etc. And we cannot continue to pay a blind eye or live in a bubble expecting it to just go away. What are we supposed to do? So maybe let me start with Hope Along and ask you, what do you think needs to be done by you? What can we do to change what the dynamic looks like in the workplace?
Thank you. And okay, I guess because I'm also in the workplace, I can answer as according to my own experience. I think one of the things that, as I think the previous gentleman, our only gentleman on the panel said, is that, you know, when we all go to the workplace, we all go to the workplace with our issues. Yeah? In the sense that we are human beings outside of the workspaces. At home, we play a role, in the community, play a role, etc. So one of the things I think is when we go into the workplace is that we realize that the workplace is just one part of our lives. And in that space then we definitely need to be able to, I think one of the things is just exactly that, to manage it, to realize that it is a workplace, and because it's a workplace, we give it the best in terms of our efforts, in terms of the work that we do. Of course, challenges always come up in the workplace. It's not a perfect environment. Many people come in with their own issues, etc. But the issue is then to be able to understand the practices, the policies in the workplace as well, such that when these issues happen to you, you need to be able then to address them, and therefore then to manage yourself as well. Someone said to me that if you want to be effective, even as a leader in the workplace, you must be able to manage your own life. Because if you're not able to manage your own life, you're going to affect what happens in the workplace as well. So this is, I think, one of the basic things that we need to do. But at the end of the day, let me take a case then, and I still want to go back to the case of harassment, right? And I want to take, in fact, I want to speak to my own experience in the workplace on sexual harassment. So I've been in the workplace many years back as a young person, entering the workplace for the very first time. Went into there and had a boss who, you know, was just a bit of a nuisance, in the sense that over the weekends we would have to come into work on a Saturday morning. So I'll go into the workplace Saturday morning. When I get there, he says, "Oh, you look lovely with those jeans." So I said, wait a minute, now that's got nothing to do with the work. Why is he commenting about my jeans? So I said, okay, like many of us do, I said, okay, I'll leave it for that weekend. Following weekend, go back to work again, and he says, those jeans. And you know what, my wife is actually a bit old, and I think I would like to have a child, and I've kind of seen you, the way you behave, and I thought, maybe you could be the mother of my child. And I said, excuse me, I think that's got nothing to do with the workplace, and I really don't appreciate this kind of comment, and I don't have to report you. But I had no idea who to report to, but I just said I need to report you. So he says,
Who are you going to report? This is just me and you here. There's no other person who's had this conversation. So what's your problem? So I said, oops, I'm stuck. So actually, I had a problem. I didn't know what to do. And this is why I'm saying that I think it's important then to know from our HRDs where to go to and who to talk to in such situations. It continued like that for a while. Eventually he left. When he left, he went to another country. He had my, he had my resume. And then I get a call from an organization which says that now he has called me, or he has recommended me for a position, an international position. So they called and they said, was I interested? So I said, no, I'm not interested in the job. So they said, why are you not interested? I said, oh, well, I made up some people excuse, but I didn't really to order. So eventually then I didn't accept the job. He calls me and says, oh, so why did you refuse the job that I offered for you? So I said, you know exactly why I refused. I'm not going to be held hostage to you for the rest of my life. Eventually he was dismissed, but I didn't play my part. And I didn't play my part because I didn't know what to do. And this is why I'm saying that we need to know. There might be channels in the organization, but we are not aware of them. We need to know what they are. We need to be able then to go to our HR. We need also then to acquaint ourselves with these definitions and understand what harassment looks like so that we can be able to talk to it. It did affect me in terms of the fact that I did get stressed. I did also at one point say, I'm going to leave the job. And I was prepared to leave the job because of what had happened. And I think this is what I'm saying is that we need then to be able to address these issues. If people don't leave the job, they are stressed, they are burnt out, and ultimately they are not going to perform in the task that they are given. And it's not just one person, if it's many, it affects the whole productivity of that organization. So I'm just saying to us, we need to be aware. As management, we need then to not just have awareness campaigns, we need to go beyond that and make those structures such that people are comfortable to go and talk, get counseling, etc.
Thank you. We need to be able to count and also create safe working environments. I know the WHO recommends that the mental health policy should be an extension of the safety and health policy of any organization, creating safe space where people can report, get help, feedback on what is going on, even behind closed doors, and ensure that nobody is left behind or left unsafe in the workspace. So, Jacob, I'll take questions from the floor. And if there be anyone with a question that we can direct our panelists as we dissect on what mental health looks like in the workplace, domestic violence,